Hello, I'm going to Hello, I'm going to Hello and welcome to episode number 26 of the TEW 2020 Challenge Run. This is the go-home show for Raw for the month of June for the Vengeance pay-per-view on Saturday, week 4. So without any further ado, let's jump straight into the show.
I won't be free, I'm going away. Every moment's one more chance to stand up or get in the
Very angle-heavy show this week. Drew restart the show and Drew McIntyre sat in the ring on a steel chair. He says, Saturday, he defends the title against the man who's become quite the pain in the ass recently, that being Andrade, and his little puppet master, Zelina Vega. Now, he's a patient man, but a week is long enough. Vega, come out here, bring Andrade, bring Garza, and bring that masked coward with you. Zelina comes out with Andrade, and not Garza, despite the fact that I've left him on screen. I shouldn't have, because he doesn't come out with Zelina. She says that Garza is in the back, as he has a match to prepare for later on tonight. A nice easy win to get him back to his best. And as for the masked man, he's a very busy businessman. Why would she waste his time bringing him to Raw tonight? And then just as she says that, her phone starts to ring. As Drew begins to talk to her, and she hushes him and answers the phone. She's like, well, what do you know, Drew? It's him. And she begins to talk to the man on the phone until Drew snatches the phone out of her hands. He's like, hello? This is Drew McIntyre. You may have heard of me. Now I hear you're a very busy man, so am I, so I'll keep it brief. Get your ass here tonight and face me in the main event, or I'll make sure none of your little friends will make it to Vengeance. Bye-bye, please hold for Zelina. And then he'd hand the phone back to Zelina and walk to the back, and then there'd be a very concerned look on the face of Vega and Andrade, because Drew just made quite the threat to her, Andrade, and to the masked man. And then we cut to commercial break after that segment. When we come back, we've got Zelina, Garza, and Andrade all pacing around the locker room, obviously in a bit of a panic. And then Andrade asks Zelina, is he on his way? And then Vega has to assure him that yes, he is. As she begins to text the man on her phone yet again. And Garza assures him, he's like, hey guys, everything's going to be okay. And then Vega snaps at him, he's like, go get ready for your match. And he throws his hands up in the air like, okay, I'll go. So clearly, Zelina very on edge after what Drew McIntyre said earlier on tonight. We get a match between Kairi Sane and Liv Morgan that gets a 53. Kairi defeats Liv in 13-17 with a spear. Just a nice showcase match for these two women. We'll probably get better in the future if this was a title match, because it would have the storyline attached to it, but on here it's just a match. The real story, though, is the fact that I've left everybody off screen. Kairi and Asuka are celebrating their win when Candy Floss comes out. She says that she knows they're defending at Judgment Day against Raquel and Dakota, but there's nothing that says they can't defend at Vengeance 2. And since she felt Sugar Rush was so close to winning last week, she asks what she has to do to get a rematch between the Kabuki Warriors at Judgment Day. Asuka and Kairi do a little huddle together. Then Asuka says, you can get title match if you prove you are ready for Asuka. So it'll be Candy Floss versus Asuka up next, and if she can beat Asuka, then they get a title match at Vengeance, which of course she can't beat Asuka, except she does in 9:45 of a fast roll-up. That is gonna not go down well with some people, but Asuka has been beaten here by Candy Floss. And what is one of the biggest upsets in women's division history. Again, I've left them off screen. Candy Floss celebrates her win. Xia Brookside comes out, they hug each other because she's just secured them a title match for Vengeance this Sunday in one of the biggest upsets in women's division history. Ricochet cuts a promo. He says that he isn't scared of Bobby Lashley. He wants him one-on-one, man-to-man. No interferences from VIP Nation at Vengeance. And then he has a match with Shelton Benjamin, which hits a 64, which he gets beaten because Bobby Lashley interferes, costs Ricochet the match, which is why he's just said no interference from VIP Nation at Vengeance, but they were here tonight, and they've helped Shelton Benjamin score the win. MVP then grabs the mic, and he's like, Lashley accepts your offer, Ricochet, and then Lashley picks him up and tries to lock him in the full Nelson, but Ricochet is too quick and nimble, and he slips out from underneath, and he gets the last laugh in the end, and he sends Bobby Lashley packing to the outside of a big drop kick. So Ricochet and Lashley will go one-on-one at Vengeance. The kick-ass debut of Oney Lorcan will throw him up. He's coming to kick some ass here on Monday Night Raw. And he beats Henry Hart in 5:47. And apparently makes him submit. And that was a totally kick-ass debut for the former 3-time 24/7 champion. And if I may ask politely, you may now have permission to throw him up. Lana is backstage watching this. She's still screaming because she's not happy that Oney Lorcan uppercutted her in the jaw. And Charlie Caruso comes up to her. She's like, what are your thoughts? Why are you still harping on what Oney Lorcan did? And Lana's like, Oney won't get away with this. He thinks he can kick ass. Well, I'm not going to find somebody that's going to kick his ass more. And she storms off. And R-Truth sort of comes out from behind one of the walls. He's like, is she gone? And she's like, well, Lana, yeah, she just left. And he's like, okay. And he scurries off to the back, running away from Lana. Because Lana once came out with his 24/7 title. And then last week, kneed him in the balls. And allowed actually Charlie herself to win the title. So R-Truth is hiding away from Lana. And he gets away with his baby for another day. Promo by Rey Mysterio. Just, Theory again should be off screen. I'm doing awful at this week. But he just taking about how he's going to face Austin Theory at Vengeance Kickoff. Because they sort of had a little bit of an issue. So it's not really worthy playing on the pay-per-view, but they are going to wrestle on the kickoff show. MVP's backstage with his two boys, and they're not happy about what Ricochet did. He went, oh, Lashley will make him pay at Vengeance. And then they stop and they're like, oh, Apollo. And Apollo Crews is back. He's all happy to see his friends. And the VIP Nation is a 4-man group once again, heading into Lashley's match with Ricochet at Vengeance. Garza's match in question is against Isaiah Swerve Scott from NXT. And ends in 8:48. Garza beats Isaiah Swerve Scott when Scott gets disqualified after the Rage DQ finish and he can't break the count of 10 or 5, whatever it is. Which continues after the match. Scott continues to beat down on Garza after he's already been disqualified. The referees come out and they pull Isaiah off and he's taken to the back and he's shouting, how's that for an easy win? As the referees take him to the back. So it's quite clear to see what exactly has got under Swerve's skin here tonight. 2-on-1 handicap. Samoa Joe beats the fuck out of both Singh brothers in 8 minutes, and he submits Sunil with the cookie in the clutch. Just a way to get him back in the ring before Vengeance to shake off any ring rust. And I felt like this story wouldn't be complete if he didn't also beat up the Singh brothers. So he does that here tonight. Nia Jax actually gets a promo. She says that she's not a pushover. Shayna will regret using me to send a message to Bianca Belair last week when she choked me out because I'm here to kick her ass and get revenge. Doesn't go well. Only lasts 4 minutes 38 seconds and taps out to the Kimura. She gets a 39. Shayna gets a 63. After the match, Bianca comes out to confront the champion. And the two women get into a brawl that has to be broken up by the referees. So, getting some last minute heat. It's actually gaining heat because it was getting dropped because apparently Nia was in the storyline, but I've taken her out. That wasn't actually her, it was the storyline was just Shayna and Tom Phillips, so it was advancing because Tom was calling the matches. So now I've taken him out, so now it will just be women's title stuff, but the heat should be fine. 61 is fine, I think 50 is what's considered hot for medium, which is what I am. So, should all be fine and dandy. Again, I've left people off screen. But it always says that, oh, you can't rate so-and-so on entertainment because you're keeping them off screen. But I've rated these 3 on entertainment and they're... Oh, anyway. It's just a promo between Owens and the Street Profits because they're teaming up tonight against Aussie Might. Goes about exactly as you expected interaction between Kevin Owens and the Street Profits to go. He's very much the lame white dad and his 2 hip black friends. The match, however, gets a 56. Aussie Might defeat the team of Kevin Owens and the Street Profits when Bronson Reed pins Angelo Dawkins with the big splash. Kev gets a 75, 55 for Ford, 49 for Dawkins, 35 for Vink, 38 for Thorne, and 46 for the thick boy, Big Bronson Reed. Kevin Owens shown in the match, because look at who he's in the ring with. Charlie Caruso catches up with Isaiah Swerve Scott in the back, and she's like, Andrew, can we get a word on why you continued to assault Angel Garza in your match earlier on tonight? And he just tells, he's like I said, I'm nobody's training bag. I'm no easy win. And he puts his sunglasses on and he just walks off all cool. So he was brought in tonight from NXT just to give Garza someone to beat, and he's sort of gone into business for himself, because the fact that he was brought in to be an easy win did not sit right with Mr. Swerve. 78 for what is essentially the main event. Aleister Black versus Buddy Murphy. Aleister Black defeats him in 16 minutes 20 seconds with a black mass. They have good chemistry, 73 for Aleister, 65 for Murphy. So that is a banging match to end on. And another banging promo from Seth Rollins, who comes out, him and Ruby Riott come onto the stage, and Seth says he's disappointed in his disciple for losing yet again to Aleister Black. But Aleister's a bit enough more than he can chew, because at Vengeance, he will be a personal sacrifice by Seth himself. That is, if he makes it that far. Black turns to see Murphy still on the apron to his left. Then he turns to the other side, on his right, and he sees Austin Theory stood there, and Akam is in front of him. He looks around, and he's ready to fight the three disciples. And then when they all get into the ring, he slides out the back where there's no one stood, and he charges towards Seth Rollins on the ramp. But as he gets close, he pushes Ruby Riott in front of him as he delivers the black mass, and she takes the blunt of the black mass for Seth Rollins after he forced her in front of him. And then he's jumped after he just realised, like, oh fuck, I've just kicked the woman in the face. And then he's jumped by the rest of the church, Akam, Theory and Murphy. They lay him out, they move his hand over his heart, and they sort of hold him like when the Shredder Society used to beat up Rey Mysterio and have him locked out unconscious, and they had him in their hands and had his hand in the air to like sort of pledge. That's what they do to Aleister Black. They have a hand over his heart and they have one arm in the air or on the little Bible that they carry around with Seth's face on it, and they pledge to the Messiah, and they force the Man of Mystery to bow down to Seth. Speaking of banging promos, Drew McIntyre makes his entrance. He's come for a match with the Masked Man, but of course there would be like 5 minutes of the show left on air, so we'd know this wouldn't actually end in a match. But then Zelina and Andrade come out on stage, and Drew's like, well, where is he? Is he in the crowd? Is he under the ring? Tell me where he is and I'll claymore his head off. And Zelina laughs at him. He's like, Drew, he's here, relax, but I want you to listen to me for a bit. You aren't some all-conquering hero, okay? This isn't Braveheart. You made the biggest mistake of your life challenging Andrade to a title match at Vengeance. We have never been stronger as a unit. We have never been more prepared for a match against someone we've already beaten. So savour this moment, because this Saturday, we may not take your life, but we will take your title. And Andrew, he picks the mic up, he goes to respond, then he sort of has an epiphany, and he quickly turns around, and the Masked Man's there, and they're face to face. Drew charges at the Masked Man and takes him down. He gets a couple of punches in. He tries to obviously pull the mask off, but then Andrade runs in, and the numbers game is in favour of the Mexicans. And then they lay him out, and the Masked Man picks Drew McIntyre up onto his shoulders and lays him out with a Samoan driver. He then takes his mask off to reveal he is Santos Escobar. And he asks for the microphone. He does like the little finger thing to ask for the mic, and he's like, my work here is nearly done. This Saturday my work will be done when Andrade becomes the new WWE Champion. And I can sort of trust him to speak. He does do good promos. He can speak perfectly fine English, so that's fine. But then Bazillion goes up to him. She hands him $100, some money. He accepts it, puts it into his little pocket, and raises Zelina's hand and Andrade's hand as they stand tall again over the WWE Champion to end the show. Gets us a 79. Best show of the series so far, I think. And a very, very hot ending. Cliffhanger to end on. Tune into Vengeance to see where that all goes, which will be in 2 episodes' time, episode number 28. Because before that, we'll have episode number 27, SmackDown's Go Home show. And I'll see you then.